how would you practice a scale that you're not familiar with? You're familiar with a lot of scales. Let's say there was something that you weren't comfortable with, or you just started working out the fingerings. How do you work on making that scale more comfortable to you, the fingerings more comfortable, the sound, and then make that leap to create music with it?
Yeah. Well, there's this great resource. It's the Circle of Fourths, and it basically provides a method or a way to practice your scales and practice patterns by basically adding a flat each time you go around the circle. So I think getting to know the Circle of Fourths and using it in your daily practice routine is a very important method. And a lot of people will like the Circle of Fifths, which is just the Circle of Fourths backwards.
Goes the other way.
Just the other way. So
the rock guys love the fifth, the jazz guys, or the horns.
Yeah.
Like,
and I before I called it the Circle of Fourths, I heard of it as being the jazz circle. And so and so a lot of jazz musicians like to go around the Circle of Fourths because the chord progressions tend to revolve around that. 2-5-1s are fourths. 2-5-1, fourth, fourth, fourth. And so it makes a lot of sense for jazz musicians, and a lot of band teachers now use the Circle of Fourths to teach scales and have students demonstrate mastery of scales. So to get to a scale that is unfamiliar, let's say you've got the first 3 flats and you really want to work on that fourth scale, A flat with 4 flats in it. Knowing which flats are the ones that are flat, so knowing your order of flats and the key signatures, B, E, A, D, G, C, F. Knowing which ones are flat, very important. And the Ed Lisk method, famous band leader, pedagogue, he would say to learn the scale by saying the names of the notes in your head or out loud, and then fingering along and saying them.
So right now you're actually thinking of the note.
I'm thinking about the notes
as your finger,
in alphabetical
really
order.
It while you're playing, can you?
Yeah.
As a guitar player, a piano player could do.
Right.
So you're actually doing that, but just not blowing into the instrument.
Yeah.
So you're playing.
So I've done this with students. It's like A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat. Trying to do it without writing it down, I think, is a great thing to do because it makes you less reliant on looking at something.
Sure.
And you're thinking about it and internalizing it. So having the fourths and knowing, okay, 4 flats. All right, B, E, A, D. I know that. A flat, B flat, C, D flat. And just going through that process. And then eventually you play it. Until it becomes second nature. And I always say practice slowly because you're not going to get better if you go through something very quickly and not very well.
Right.
So always practice something that's new slowly until it's comfortable, and then just gradually increase the tempo. Use a metronome, gradually increase the tempo, and until you're really comfortable. 1 octave, and if you can do 2 octaves eventually on the range of your instrument, then great.